my swim time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my swim time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my swim time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my swim time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Welcome to Work the Left Side. We have an extra bonus episode this week. I am joined by Mr. Liam Slater, and we are here to talk about Second Pursuit, which is happening in September. Dude, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Oh, 5x5, dude. All good. I say I'm all good. I'm good. I'm looking forward to Second Pursuit. That's keeping my spirits up. So obviously, you know, we covered the First Pursuit. We did like a hype show of that last year. I had a few people on. We had Lawson and Jeebus on afterwards talking about just how awesome First Pursuit was. So yeah, I think you've set the bar very high for you to and you've got to match it now, if not exceed it.
Yeah, we did set the bar very high. I think a lot went into the first one, and second ones can kind of be a little bit more difficult. Similar with North and Thunderstruck, where going into that second one, I think there was a bit of doubt internally of like, are we going to be able to match it? Are we going to be able to match the same spirits and stuff? But actually, I would say the second one maybe came out a little bit better than the first one did. And I think I'm hopeful that the same is going to happen. Same is going to happen with Second Pursuit for us.
Yeah, I don't see why it shouldn't, kind of thing. Obviously, you know, you went and did the first one, testing the waters really. So, and obviously, you know, you're a year older. You know, you're wiser. You know, you've got more talent. You know what's going on. So it should tick all the boxes, and it should exceed the first one. So, I mean, obviously, you've announced. Well, before we start talking, to my knowledge, there was 3 matches announced. You just mentioned, you know, Nathan put something on the Instagram of a 4th match.
Yeah, we've actually got, including that one, there'll be 5 announced. So if you want, I'll kind of take you through what we've had announced chronologically. So obviously we announced the event, Second Pursuit. The first match that we announced was Eve Bateman against Kid Like Us 2. So that'll be a real fun match. Eve's had a wonderful run at North. I think she's really stepped into a real comfort from her wrestling. She's also been abroad with us at PPW. She was in Barcelona with us, and then in Ireland at Hard Knocks with us as well, and had some great showings there. And obviously, a Kid Like Us too is having a fantastic run at the moment, and I think he's probably got room to have an even bigger run going into next year. Just appeared on AEW, which is a great position for him, and even Like Us too, often travel around together. They're training quite frequently together, so I think it's a match that both of them want to kind of like test the skills of each other, and just to kind of showcase the inbuilt nature of what we've got at PPW.
Dude, obviously, you know, that match was the first one that got my attention. Eve Bateman, huge fan of. You know, she's doing some amazing stuff. Whether you say, like you said, it's at North, seen her at Planet loads. She's awesome at Planet. You know, she can work the family shows, the gritty shows. She's just really versatile. And if anybody who follows me on Twitter knows, like last week I did a massive shout out of Kid Like Us 2. Just a little highlight reel of his match against Misery Business at True Grit. I was just it's the first time I've seen Like Us Jim in person, and I was genuinely I was just lost for words. I was just legitimately mind blown.
Yeah, I'd say that Like Us Jim, Kid Like Us 2 is like one of the most underrated junior heavyweights in the country at this moment in time. I think a lot of people might consider him to be like a tag team specialist, which he is in a sense, but his singles work is really solid. And I would say that Eve Bateman is easily one of the most underrated female talents within the UK at this moment in time. I'd maybe even go as far to say Europe as well. Like I've been around WXW and a couple of European companies now, and Eve's an incredible talent. So I'm really looking forward to that singles match. I think it'll be really fun. I think it could be a show stealer.
Oh, guaranteed, guaranteed. You put those two together. You put those two against anybody else, and I've been looking forward to that match. You put them against each other, and yeah, I can kind of see that's why that was the first match announced. That was very much a look, eyes on the prize, getting people's attention, and just being like, "Wow, okay, this is happening," kind of thing.
Yes.
So what's the
Do you want
second?
me to take you into our? Yeah, I was going to say, do you want me to take you into our second match that we had announced? This is a big, silly four-team, four corners tag match. So we have Vanity coming from Scotland. Vanity is Ronan King and Judas Gray. They're against NRG. That's I'm going to say momentum, but you might see a slightly different Mo at Second Pursuit. I won't go into too much detail about that. I'll leave you sort of suspended on that. But Mo and Hamza Masoa. We've then got a little bit of a makeshift team, but kind of similar personalities in Jake Quinn and Ian Skinner, and then a real makeshift team in Jet Marshall and Sam Bailey coming together. So a lot of personalities in this match.
God, that is like obviously massive mark for NRG. Had Mo on the show. Absolutely love the guy to pieces. Just an awesome human being. You say the team from Scotland. I've seen on socials. I've seen on your highlight reels because I know those guys were kind of down recently, working with you guys at the facility.
Yeah, they were actually down this Wednesday. They were down, and somebody else that I'll mention in a little bit as well as like a little bit of a preview. Came down, trained with us. I've got a lot of time for Ronan and Judas. They've got a real solid work ethic. They're really hungry to grow and develop. They're still both young lads. They're getting further out now with like TNT and stuff like that. So I hope that continues for them.
Judas Gray. That's another reason I know that name actually was it's Rough House. Is he against you at Rough House, or is he against somebody at Rough House, isn't he?
No, he's against me. Yeah, we've got a match. So we wrestled up in Discovery in Scotland in the first round of the openweight championship tournament that they had. Judas is now the openweight champion, and then we're wrestling again at Rough House. And part of that came out of the fact that Rough House saw the content from PPW and saw Judas and saw that I was working with him and thought we want this on a show, which is real cool. Like it's I'm really looking forward to that as much as I'm looking forward to this tag match as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, back to I just sorry, when the penny drops, you're like, I know I'd see that.
Yeah.
And it's like that's why. Obviously, well, I'm not going to skate over the fact that you mentioned Ian Skinner and Jake Quinn as well. Obviously, the Quinn is awesome. One of my favorite people as well. I can pretty much just say I'm going to stop saying that. I can pretty much say that about everyone who's at Pursuit, to be honest with you. So any of the local Pursuit talent, just take it as granted, as they are one of my favorite people. Ian Skinner, again, love the guy. I think he's one of the. I've said it numerous times on socials. He gets it. His social game is on point. His just everything about him, whether he's working face or heel, yeah, that's going to be amazing. To see him teaming up with the winner. That's and then the other team, which I've just totally lost track of because I've got that.
Jet and Sam Bailey. I know there's a lot going on in this match. Jet Marshall and Sam Bailey. So obviously Jet's a long-term PPW guy who's in one of the first through the door, and Sam Bailey, obviously coach at Future Shock. We've had the session takeover, like where we did the swap through it. A lot of, I'll say this now, a lot of what this card is across the board as we go further into it. We've made a bunch of links across the country, across Europe, and indeed across the globe. And Second Pursuit is really a way of us kind of giving back to those companies that have had us over, that we're now inviting them back over again. So we're really trying to create a bit of a sense of unity across the board. So even if you look at that match there, we've got Vanity that are coming from Discovery, Sam Bailey's with Future Shock, and then Jake Quinn actually is from Coventry. So he's finished up at uni now in Sheffield and he's back down training at Kamikaze. So there's even that link that we've got there. And obviously Ian spent a lot of time with Discovery before moving down towards Leeds. So now trains with us on a regular basis. So yeah, there's a load of links across the country.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember during the Quinn episode, he said, he's on about moving back down to sort of down south. I think he's ended up in Nuneaton or something now, and he kind of thing, and he's all about going to Kamikaze. So yeah, that's cool to see him back as well. Though, 'cause when we was talking, he wasn't sure when he'd make it back up or step back in foot in pursuit again. So it's awesome to hear that he's back. And yeah, Sam Bailey, that Dan Bailey, is probably one of the most underappreciated wrestlers in this country, kind of thing. Everybody I speak of, just nothing but love. And hopefully, I've not watched the match yet. Hopefully, he's still got his hair after the Brian Strong match a couple of weeks ago, where it was hair versus hair. So, I'm hoping to still see the fuzziness.
Yeah, I mean, I won't give you any spoilers on that if you've not seen it yet. And I'm actually really interested to see the link between Sam Bailey and Jet Marshall, where Jet's kind of an unorthodox wrestler, and I think Sam Bailey has that in him too. And I think that could be a really interesting dynamic between the two singles wrestlers, really, in the match, for them all to kind of come together out of that. But yeah, that'll be pretty chaotic as an overall match.
Yeah, again, that's just going to be, again, we talked about it with the Kid Lycos too, and Eve Bateman, potential match of the night. To me, dude, those four people involved, again, it could be just another, show stealer that could easily be a match of the night contender.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of chaos, I'll move into his next match, which has every capability of being a chaotic match. This is a hardcore match between B.A. Rose and Steve Savage. So Steve runs Hard Knocks over in Ireland, which is where we took a trip out to Limerick recently. And yeah, B.A. Rose, obviously our resident deathmatch guy, Uncle Deathmatch. Putting these two guys together was a bit of a no-brainer. What wasn't a no-brainer was them thinking, hang on a minute, is this building going to be able to contain these two people? And are we going to lose a lot of chairs and other implements here? There's a ladder that's in the unit that I don't know if it'll make it through this show or not. So yeah, it'll be a messy one, and it'll be again a chaotic one.
Tell you what, I saw recently on your reels, you've now got a drone. You need to kind of do like a Matt Hardy thing. Take it outside, let them fight somewhere around the facility, and then just kind of film it on the drone. Try and get them out of the facility as soon as possible. Take it out.
Yeah, it'll probably be better for the facility overall. Like, I feel like these two guys could happily take the building down. You might have seen the clip of World Cruise jumping off the rafters onto the crash mat. I think that could happen, but just no crash mat, just straight onto the other person. Both of these lads are really out there. Obviously, I've known BA for years, and he's a trusted guy that I have down at PPW. But watching Steve Savage wrestle when we were out in Ireland at Hard Knocks was really a sight to behold. A really solid hardcore wrestler. Like, he's obviously like a tough bruiser that is just happy to also throw himself through whatever implements are around.
Yeah, man, that's definitely like. So I think there's not really much else to say about that, except it is going to be like the immovable, objects meeting the unstoppable force. And if these guys are heading towards you, just get the hell out of the way.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, to touch on the facility a little bit. So obviously we've moved facility in the time that we've had First Pursuit and going into Second Pursuit. So there's way more space now. Obviously, First Pursuit was a real tight space, which was fun, and there was a great atmosphere in there. This time round, we've got that bit more space that's out there. We're hoping to get like a good number of chairs down and stuff like that for people to sit on and kind of make it like just a little bit of an easier environment to take in all the action on. But again, that just means that there's more room for Rose and Steve Savage to throw themselves around. So yeah, it's again, it's a great chance for us to showcase this new facility. It might also not last the night. And if that doesn't break it, the next match will maybe break it, or at least break the ring. We've got Will Cruz taking on Rocco Graza. So Rocco is from Hustle, which again is another link that we've made of the Nathan went down to Hustle and caused a bit of a ruckus. They came up to us for a recent in-house show. I think we might be going back down there at some point. And then we've got Rocco that's coming up here as well for Second Pursuit. This is a big old hoss fight. This is two big meaty men that are going to be slapping meat to steal a phrase. So yeah, again, I think something that is hopefully quite evident through this rundown is just the variety of stuff that we've got going on. Like every match so far has offered something different that we hope like people are looking forward to and are going to enjoy in all different aspects.
Definitely. And this one, like I said, even though it's like, the last match was two big men, that's two big men with a very different style. This is going to be two big men, just like say slap. It's going to be chops. But it's not going to be chops. It can be technical as well, because I know both these guys can work. Very. I saw Will Cruz recently against Brady Phillips at True Grit. Match of the year contender. Will was awesome. I was so hyped to see Will kind of at Pursuit a lot more now. Kind of thing. It's kind of like, he seems to be there all the time. I just think it's he brings something to you guys bring something to him. I just think this match is good. Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like to touch on Will a little bit, Will's joined us over maybe the last 6 to 9 months, where he was somebody that kind of floated on the peripherals a little bit. Like we'd see him at shows and he's like, yeah, I need to come down. And then finally went, right, I'm coming along and has kind of become part of the furniture now. And obviously him and Nathan have wrestled up and down the country and traveled together a lot. And it's been a real nice path to see Will's growth over the last 6 to 9 months, however long he's been down, of like just a change of mindset and stuff like that. And I think the things that he's been doing again are him. I think what we do as PPW is allow people to realize that they can do those things and it's okay to do those things and you go out and do those things. So again, I think this year's been a good year for Will. I hope next year is a bigger year for Will. I think it's all set up to be that. He just needs to get through Rocco first.
Yes. This could be like the gatekeeper kind of match, where he gets through this match and then it's just like, it's just belt collecting everywhere kind of thing. Obviously, I know he's held belts previously, but I'm expecting in 12 months' time just to see the man covered in belts, and that's going to take a lot of belts. But yeah. That's what.
And just I'm looking at our Instagram page now, coming out of there. The next bit that we posted in regards to Second Pursuit was that we have the Music Man as a musical opener. So I love Music Man. Music Man is my favorite wrestler. I don't think there's anybody that's more charismatic than the Music Man. And it's a blast to wrestle him whenever I've had a chance to wrestle him. We had Theomania a couple of months back, and it was me and Will in the tag match against Posty Malone and Music Man, and I had a blast in it. So we wanted to make sure that music was on the show. So he's being the musical opener. Now, what that means, your guess is as good as mine. But the Music Man is not just that by name, he's that by nature. And the man can play and sing and dance and entertain an audience. And we kind of wanted a way for us to kick off the show. And, like WrestleMania has like the song at the beginning. We kind of thought, well, we've got somebody that's going to blow that out of the water. So yeah, whatever the Music Man does, it's going to be electrifying.
There'll be a slice of fried gold is what it's going to be. It is, obviously, again, when he was, to go back to his episode, yeah, the dude sang a song to me when he was on here. I got a bit of a guitar playing, a bit of singing. I got an impromptu concert. So I can only imagine what he's going to do, in front of the whole Pursuit audience. And yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to put smiles on faces. And if anybody tries to interrupt it, I'm sure they'll get beat down.
Yeah, he's not afraid to choke slam somebody in full Elvis costume. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And you never know. You've come out and start doing a little. You could be busting off a few dance moves while the music's playing. I'm sure that won't go amiss.
Maybe. I think I'll have too many other bits and pieces going on to be concentrating on the music. That takes us through all our announced matches. So obviously, as we're recording this, we've had a little teaser going out for our next match, which will be up online, I would imagine, by the time that this comes out. So we'll speak about it now. And if it's not, it's an exclusive for you. But we're more or less in that range. It's Kemper against Sammy D for the Hard Knocks Championship, which I think is a really interesting stipulation in this, because I think if you to ask most people and you were to say, because Joshua Kemper's our PPW champion, I think most people would expect it to be for the PPW championship, but no, it's for the Hard Knocks championship. Sammy D is a fantastic talent from Ireland. We just had him over for the OTT seminar. Wealth of knowledge, extremely good in the ring. But Kemper is also extremely good in the ring. And what a year Kemper's had from last year, First Pursuit, where he just annihilated Nathan, to now, I believe, I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure this is our main event. And we have all the faith in Kemper to provide a main event. He's a fantastic talent. I've got such a big amount of time for him. His work ethic, but then also just the presence that he has. Like, he looks like a superstar.
Yes. Again, dude, I'm sure it'll come to no surprise. You know my feelings on Kemper. I'm a massive advocate. I'll big the guy up at any given opportunity. And like you sort of said, the difference a year makes is I've had him on the show twice. First time I had him on, quite quiet, sort of reserved, good conversation, but you could kind of tell he wasn't quite letting himself go. Spoke to him about a month ago. Dude, the guy's confidence is like sky high now, rightly so. You know, everything he's achieved this year, he's come out of himself. He's found that confidence. He's working the style that suits him. He's just turning up in places and just busting heads. And just, yeah, he's just been awesome. And it's amazing to see what a difference a year makes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, we can talk about PPW, like me and Nathan talk about it quite a lot, as like a facilitator for a lot of people. And like for Kemper, like, it's been the facilitator for him to go, oh, actually, you know, I can do this, and actually I am very good at it. And that confidence has been a pleasure to see, which has really been down to Kemper, taking stuff on board and growing and learning and developing. And again, we try and create the atmosphere for that to happen in. So we're really pleased that the time that he's put in is evident and we can see it coming through. So yeah, again, I'm looking forward to that. If you've not watched Sammy D wrestle, like, I think you're in for a treat, because he's a fantastic talent. He's highly placed at OTT, and there's good reason for that.
That's why I'm excited for Second Pursuit as well, because obviously, you know, I know all the PPW talent. You know, I've seen them on loads of shows, talked to most of them. But I don't know some of the names that are coming over. Or if I do, I've already seen them on socials, or I've seen them on your reels because you've worked with them elsewhere. So yeah, I'm hyped to get to see him in person. I think that's the appeal for Second Pursuit. First Pursuit was very much, you had some international talent, you know, you had some people come in, but it was mainly in-house. Whereas, like you said, this time, because of the collaborations you've made, because of the working relationships that you've now got, you can have all these people come in, and the Pursuit fan base are going to get to see him in an actual match for the first time, as opposed to just on reels or, you know, training sessions, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's been a difficult one, in a sense of there's almost so much that we can do now that really, like, narrowing that down has been a really hard job for us. You know, and like, in an ideal world, we'd have everybody on, and it'd be a 4-day event that went on forever. But you know, we've only got a certain amount of time and I've only got a certain amount of life in me to make that work. So yeah, it's going to be really cool to see the collaborations that we've made, like, all come together rather than us going to places. Because again, I think something that we do very well is we're very happy to collaborate and work with people and try and make the best out of wrestling. And I think we want to see that come back to us, because that's the fun of wrestling. And again, if we're speaking about fun and stuff like that, if I touch on our commentators and host for the event, we have Mr. Ricky back on commentary again. Again, last time round, I think he really started to find his feet as we got through the event. And I think this time, like, he'll just come straight out the bat with it. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we've got Alex as our host. Alex has done a good couple of our in-house shows, conspicuously, while Axel the Clown has maybe not been around, but I don't think there's any real correlation into that. but is super comfortable in talking. And again, that is part of why our in-house shows have been really helpful, is because it's given him the time and the opportunity to work on those skills that we can now go, cool, this is really our big marquee thing that we're doing, and we want you to basically run the ship for us out in front of an audience. I think there'll be some really interesting stuff that Alex does over the next couple of years that I'm really looking forward to seeing him pull into fruition out of it.
I will second that. Obviously, you know more, but based on what I know of the guy, when I've spoken to him, again, he's just somebody that gets it, kind of thing. You know, his genuine passion for the business, his love of wrestling. Whether he's been Axel, whether he's been Alex, you know, I think it's just whatever he sets his mind to, I think he will smash it. You know, especially in an environment like you said with pursuits, where people can just kind of pushed in the right direction or just encouraged, you know, to do what they want to do, kind of thing, as long as it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's the key to it, is like, and I always say this with like beginners that I bring through, I'm never ever going to tell you, no, don't do that. Unless it's a really, really, really stupid idea, I'm never going to go, no. Now, what I might do is go, how about this? What about this? And like, well, maybe tweak and change it. But I want people to find what they're passionate about and put that forward. Because I think for too long, it was like, no, this is how you do it. And again, there's to an extent where that happens. But when it comes to people being wrestlers, there needs to be more of a creative outlet to it, or there needed to be more of a creative outlet to it, which I think we do a pretty all right job at PPW of doing. That takes us through all announced matches, and potentially one that has been announced, hasn't been announced. I can give you one real big exclusive if you would like it.
I'm not going to say no to that, dude.
So one match, I won't reveal what the match is, but one match will have Emerson Jane wrestling for us here at PPW. So we've got a bit of a Scottish car coming down, and Emerson is going to be involved in that. Emerson's a fantastic talent. She's also come down a couple of times with Vanity, and I've had the pleasure of watching her at North as well. Just like a real incredible talent for the female division to have in England and Scotland. I think he's again slightly underutilized across the board, and I've also had the pleasure of wrestling her, albeit in a TLC match. But those little bits of interaction I had, I was like, wow, you are at a very high level. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Emerson do what she does best, which is wow and impress a crowd.
Just being Emerson and just delivering, turning up, smashing it. Awesome. Glad to hear that name be mentioned, and I'll be interested to see how they're involved and what comes about. Just to rewind quickly as well, so I kind of overlooked. Shout out to Mr. Ricky. Obviously, did the commentary for Theomania. So he did an awesome job. So yeah, looking forward to hearing afterwards. What he does at Second Pursuit, because again, somebody very comfortable on the mic, very comfortable with his vocabulary, and he can tell a story.
Absolutely. And I think just to kind of touch on that, yes, it'll be filmed and put up onto his YouTube again, like the first one was. All that's done by Matt Hurst. Matt Hurst is his ringside camera guy. You may have seen him floating around at shows. He's doing more and more stuff now. Again, another one. It's almost a bit more of a quiet success story of PPW, where Matt was a long-time friend of Nathan's, filmed like skateboarding stuff, and Nathan was like, you've got a real good knack for filming stuff. Can you just come and try wrestling? He'd never watched wrestling before, was never interested in it, and now he's a pretty integral part of wrestling in England. He's got promos featured, or he's filmed promos now for every major wrestling company that exists in England, I would say.
That's cool. I did have the pleasure of talking to him because he films at Planet as well, doesn't he?
Yes,
I've spoken to him at Planet a few times. Just general, he always comes over and says hi to me, kind of thing, when he sees me at a Planet show. So always very nice. Again, what he's doing at Pursuit. Like I said, it's somebody you wouldn't think to shout out, but yeah, he's come on leaps and bounds as well, kind of thing. Pursuit, it was obviously, it's very much the in-ring talent, but the other people that you have there, like the refs, and the camera crew, you're helping everybody in different aspects of the business.
To quickly shout out the refs that we'll have down. So we were meant to have Sandy on, but it also runs in line with a show that's happening down in Norwich, which is no problem at all. And again, we're never sticklers for that. And I'm glad that she's getting recognition, that she's getting pulled right down to the other end of the country. But we have our senior referee. I don't know if he'll enjoy me calling him senior referee, but we've got Lee Thomas that's heading up the ref crew. We've got Neil Ayrton, who is quite a regular person in around the Yorkshire and Midland scene, and I've known Neil for years, so it's a pleasure to have him on. And then we've also got a new referee that's coming up through us called Andy. He started with us fairly recently, but has taken to reffing really well. And it's just a nice chance to be able to go, hey, here you go, in like a full show scenario rather than just the in-house shows. So yeah, that's his ref team for the evening as well.
Nice. Well, to be fair, I think you've got to call Lee senior. I think the dude's had like 20 birthdays this year, so he's aged rapidly this year anyway. So
he's wrestled as well. He's a versatile man, is Lee.
Oh, his match against Alan Kay a few weeks ago. Oof, that Alan Kay is a bad man.
He's indeed.
But dude, like I say, I think covering all the bases, the matches you've got on, the relationships that you're building, that you've made, like I said, just the people in house as well, not just the wrestlers, but like I say, the refs, the people who film it. That's why, again, I'm not sugarcoating. I'm not saying it for the sake of saying it. I've nothing but love for Pursuit, and I will always big it up at every given opportunity, because I see what you do for everybody that's there, kind of thing. When I speak to people, I can see their confidence growing. I can see their in-ring abilities growing. With Matt's filming, that's come on leaps and bounds since started. And full credit to, I know Nathan won't accept it because it's a compliment, but full credit to you and Nathan for everything you do.
Yeah, and likewise, I'd love to give you a thank you as well for the support that you're giving people, and then also just the platform as well, to have people come on and speak, a lot of them for the first time. And what's nice, that I don't know if you know this, I often get messages from the people that appear on the podcast, or that you've reached out to, and they're like, hey, like they've reached out to me, should I speak? I'm like, absolutely, speak to them, like absolutely. So I think you probably have a bigger impact on people as well than you might realize. So yeah, thank you for your support and help. And it'll be great to have you finally in the facility. That'll be a cool moment. We'll have to get a photo of the back of his heads. Yes.
We'll just do a back of. Back of my head looks better than the front, so I'm happy for that. So I don't know if there's anything else we want to touch upon while we're here, or that to me is just a nice sort of length, hyped everything up. We've talked about everything. We'll get people excited. Hopefully, sell a few more tickets. Which I don't think you need. Well, I'm not doing this episode to sell tickets. You don't need my help to do that. But I just think if people know what's going on, then they can join in with the excitement.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it's really why I jumped on. Is not really to be hard plugging or anything like that. It's just to speak to you, to give you a bit of insight that hopefully gives a couple more people insight into stuff. Tickets are available through like a social media links and stuff like that. And I think they're up on our website as well, so you can find the tickets in places. And worst case scenario, drop us a message and we can shoot the link over to you. So yeah, all that stuff's really easy sorted.
There'll be a link in the description also. I've got the link from when I bought my tickets, so I will just copy and paste it into the episode description. So after you finish watching this, go into the description, click on the link, buy your tickets, and just get excited for some amazing talent. Not just the Pursuit talent, but from everywhere, all coming together, collaborating, and making wrestling fun and awesome as it should be. So, dude, thank you so much for just taking the time out during the day to talk to me. about this. It's always a pleasure, mate. I always enjoy, talking Pursuit and seeing what you guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, pleasure talking to you. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. So thank you for watching. Obviously, hit like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the stuff that I tell you to do, ask you to do at the end of an episode. And we will see you again very, very soon with a Pursuit person. Marshall Warner is joining us very soon.
Wicked.
Yeah, I'll be talking to him and seeing what the hell's going on with him and Jeebus, because this feud is just getting crazy. So don't miss that. Poor Jeebus, man. He's just there to make reels. He's not there to get abused. He get punched. Craziness. Right, Liam, thank you so much, and we'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.